3, 2, 1, go.
Good day and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Revit. I'm Justice. In this video, I will be introducing you to how to create levels and grids in Autodesk Revit and how you can navigate through the Revit user interface. In the previous video, we explained the Revit user interface. So in this video, it's just all about grids and levels. So let's just head straight into it. So to create our levels in Revit, we need to go to an elevation view. This is already a plan view here. So we'll go to any of our elevation views, and with template I'm using the default metric template. I already have two already created levels for me for the project, but let's say I want to create a whole lot of other ones and then I want to rename them. How do I go about doing that? So to do that, we go to architecture, make sure you're in architecture, and then you can see level here. It helps you to add a different level or a new level to your project. So we'll click on that, and then when you click on it and then you enter your Revit user interface, you are going to see your cursor looking like a plus. So it allows you to pick a start. Once we pick that, then we can just draw. Remember, we're not clicking and dragging, you just click, then you can hand draw. So once you get to where the other levels were placed to stop at, you're going to see a dotted line. I don't know if you guys can see this. You're going to see dotted lines in blue, so it shows you that they are parallel, that they are in the same place. So once I just click on it, my level 3 appears. So by default, Revit is going to name this level 3 because it started off with 1 with the template I'm using, to 2, then 3. If you end up creating other levels, it's still going to be the same. Are there other ways to create this without having to go back to level and click level? Yes, there are. So remember, in the first video we talked about shortcuts. So in this video I'll be using those shortcuts. So to create another level without having to go back here to click level, I'll just click on the level I have here, then I type CS in my keyboard. So CS is a shortcut for create similar. So as you can see, I already have another level, and then I can equally draw. So it just helps me to work faster without having to go back and click level and all that. So I have 4 levels here. So let's say I want to dimension these levels and I want to rename them for a project. What do I do to them? So to rename, I'm just going to click on a level, then I'm going to click on the level, then I can rename the level. So let's say I want to call this 0 NGL. So NGL is the natural ground level. So once I enter in my keyboard, I have renamed the view. So I can click on this and then I can call this 1 ground level, or as other people like to, you can use GL for ground level. Is actually you can use that as an abbreviation. So but I like typing in full. So ground level. So let's say I call this 2 second, or sorry, first floor level. Okay, I missed floor here, so I'm just going to put that. Okay, so let's say I want to call this the roof. So that's 3 roof level. So that works. So I've ended up creating these new levels in Revit. How do I now set them up? So if you look at this very well, the ground level is starting 4 meters above the natural ground level. That's not true. So to correct that, I'm just going to click on this. I always like my natural ground level being minus. It's going to look it starts from the natural ground, then it runs up, like that's like foundation walls and all that. So let's say 450, and then I can now put this one at 0. So that comes down. So if you look at this very well, it looks like the 2 levels are interflicting where you cannot see them very well. So how do you correct that? So there's what we call an add elbow in Revit. Is going to help you to bring down this natural ground level very well, so you can see your ground level very well. So to do that, just click on your natural ground level, and then if you zoom in here, you're going to see it, an add elbow. So if I just click on it, you're going to see my NGL drop down. If I still want this to drop down more, I can just click on this, then I can keep dragging it down, and then it keeps going down. So this is my natural ground level, and this is my ground level. So this is 7.3 meters. No, I don't want that. That's too high. Let's say I'm doing a residential building. I want to just bring this down at let's say 3150, or we can just say 3.2 meters. We can write 3,200 like this because I'm using the default metric, so I'm going to be making use of the metric, not the imperials. So you can write 3.2 or you can write 3,200, so it's still the same thing. So if you notice very well, when I'm clicking my dimensions, I'm not going here to go and pick my dimensions off here. No, I'm not doing that. I'm using the shortcut for dimensions, which is DI. So it allows you to just pick your dimensions and then without having to go and click dimensions. So that's part of the shortcuts we are talking about. So this 450. Okay, I want that. I want something more than 450. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so let me check this out. It's too high, very high. So I might just bring this down at let's say another 3.2. So this is basically how you can create levels in Autodesk Revit and make your levels really simple and easy. So we've ended up creating levels. If you notice, when we were creating these levels, they were appearing here in the floor plans and as well as in your ceiling plans. So that's automated. That's how Revit assists you to work faster. So for grids, we'll go to a floor plan. Any of our floor plan views, your NGL or any view you want to create your grids on. So to create grids, the same way you can go click on architecture, make sure you're in architecture, then you can see grid here, or you can type the shortcut GR for grids. So it just helps you to draw your grids if you don't want to pick them. So there are various types of grids. You can have angular grids, so they curve, something like this, so you can have angular grids or curved grids. There are other ones that are also radial, so it depends on what you want to do. So you can pick this off and then the grid goes this way, and then you can now have, these are the straight ones, the linear ones that you all know about. So for the grids, here in the project browser, you can see the basic type of grids we have in the project, in the template. So we have the 6.5 mm bubble, so I might just want to use that. So I'm going to click, then I'm going to drag, then I'm going to finish this off. Revit automatically names this grid 1 because it's the first grid you've created, so you can now create other grids that you have already sketched out from your floor plan you want to create from here. So if I want to create other grids, instead of going back here to click on grids, or I can just click GR. I can just type GR in my keyboard, and then I end up creating another grid this way. So you can see Revit names this 2. Is either I do that this way, or if there are so many grids you want to create here, what I normally do is I click on copy, then I click on the center of the grid, then I give it a dimension, the grid to grid dimensions. So let's say this is 3.2 meters. Okay, sorry, I typed E instead of M. Oh, okay, so 3.2 meters. Let's say I want this one at 2.5 meters, and then I have another one at 4 meters, and then the last one at let's say 1.8 meters. Okay, so I've created my grids, and then these are my grids. Now remember, in the first video I said something about working in between these 4 dots. It's always good in Revit if you work in between these 4 dots, and because they are your elevations, so they will help you to have a perfect view of your work. So I might just want to adjust this. So I highlighted all of them, then I just dragged them, and then they moved. If you notice, well, these grids are numbered here, but they are not numbered here. How do you do that? 2 ways to do that. Easier way is to click on this and then click on these dots and check this box here, so the number appears here. That's an easier way. That's a much harder way to do that, because you end up clicking all of them. So what I normally do is I click on one, then I edit type, and then once I edit type, you can be able to check this too, and then you just apply, and then you click OK. So all of them are named automatically without you having to click them one after the other. So what about the other type of because we just created the horizontal grid, the vertical grid. So for the horizontal grids, we'll just do the same thing. It's either we click on this and type CS, or we type GR and then create our grids. So let's say we have another one here. So Revit continues naming this because 5, it stopped at 5 here, so it names this 6. I might not want that, so I just want to rename this. So let me call this A, and then I enter. So it's going to now alphabetically name all the grids I'm going to create here horizontally with A. So I'm going to click this, and then I'll go and click copy. It's either I click copy there, or I'm going to use the shortcut CO, that is for copy. So I want this as 2 meters. Let's say 3.5 meters. Let's say I have another one at thinking of, let's say 4.8 meters. Sorry, didn't type meters there. For meters. Okay. So let's say these are the 4 grids I have. They are not much, but let's say I highlight them, then I might want to centralize them a little bit here. Okay, so this is just a quick way for you to create grids and levels in Autodesk Revit. You might want to change the color of the alphabets or the numbers in the grid. So to do that, you just click on it, and then I can go to the edit type, and then I can change the end segment. Let's say I want to use red, then I can click OK, then I can apply, and then I click OK. So the grids, my grid colors change to red. And then, but I can still undo that by holding Ctrl Z to undo. Then I can still go back, and then I can change this, and then this helps you to change a whole lot of things in your grids. So another thing you can actually do is, if you don't want your grids running all through like this, and let's say you've already drawn your walls and you don't want your grids to run all through this, you can just minimize the grids by clicking on this. Then you split segment. This is the add elbow tool. It helps you to add an elbow to the grid. But if you don't want that, you can't actually split segments in this type of group, which is something we'll be correcting. So here you have your grid line. It's in grid line. You can use a single line to do this. You can also use other types of lines to actually do this, and you can equally change the line weights. The weights, let's say you want to make it a whole lot thicker, then you can apply, and then you click OK. So it becomes much thicker. Your grid lines become much thicker. So that's how you create grids and levels in Autodesk Revit. See you in the next video. Remember to like and subscribe to our channels. Then you can equally share, and then click the notification bar so you will get notified whenever we drop new videos like this. See you in the next video. Peace.